You know, I didn't expect to make another video about Terrence K. Williams anytime soon for whatever the reason it may be. But then I got an alert in Kid Gravity's Discord because he has his X account linked to the Discord, so I get the notifications whenever he makes a post. And I came across this one. I said, let me go ahead and just talk about this, and not even in a triple P format, but just to like show y'all, like, I think Terrence K. Williams is either coming to the realization that his grift is almost over, or I don't know if he's going to try to make another shift. I don't know what it is. I really don't care. But he made this post up on X where I said it sounds to me like he's crying out to white mommy and white daddy to come and save him from the big bad boogeyman or boogie person. So let's go through this. He says, I'm not being nice to Democrats anymore. Well, here's the thing. Terrence K. Williams is not a nice person, period, to anybody, in my honest opinion, except for those who asses he kisses or those who kiss his ass. Well, I don't know how many people do it, but okay. But I told people before, if you've ever looked at his quote unquote content, it's literally a shrine to 45, whether it's written in text or not written, but posted as a video. It's very embarrassing. It's very minstrelish. It is very, like, is not worthy of even calling yourself a man, let alone a black man. Which I'm sure he probably has no problem saying, don't call me a black man, even though that's what he is. He probably goes around doing the same conservative thing like all the rest of the grifters, where they're saying, just call me an American. Okay, fine, whatever. And speaking of those saying I'm gonna stand with them, I've told people before in the past, be careful when PC says that they're gonna stand with you, like you black grifters, black conservatives, because look at what happened with CJ Pearson. They said they was gonna stand with him, and he ended up losing by 20 points in a runoff election. So much for standing with. I keep telling you, their support only goes as far as digital. Is digital support. That only goes so far if it applies to you wanting to do a real world thing. He goes on to say, he says, they all have been shitty towards me. Well, here's the thing, Terrence, you are a shitty person. Always have been, always will be. To anybody who doesn't align with his ideology, especially when it comes to Trump. Like, if you say anything about Trump that he feels is an insult towards Trump, he feels like it's an insult towards him. This guy literally feels like he's an extension of Trump. I'm like, dude, your last name is Williams, not Trump, and you're not adopted by him in either. So I don't know why you go out of your way. Donald Trump probably barely knows you at this point. He probably just refers you as that little black boy. He probably doesn't refer to you as a black man and you're an adult. Even though age doesn't define maturity, because he's very immature for his age. He says, I've been vilified. No, going back to that first part. Like I said, he's been shitty to other people. See, there's this thing, and I don't know if Terrence ever learned this, but it's something called you've got to give respect to get it. What respect has he ever given? It's one thing that, you can have a difference of opinion, but there's another one where you're being absolutely deplorable and tacky about it. And he's definitely the latter. See, I can even have a debate with someone like him. I really couldn't. Especially if I know his echo chamber is going to be there. I could not do it. He goes on and says, I've been vilified for supporting Trump. Let me start right there. A lot of these grifters, or these conservatives, these black ones anyway, feel that we will call them a sellout if they support Trump. Listen, you can support whoever you want. I'm an independent voter anyway. I'm registered independent. I can care less. But one thing we cannot stand are these shills. That goes for the Republicans and the Democrats. We cannot stand them. When you say something that you may disagree with them, and then they come back and be all sassy and give you an attitude. That's what Terrence does all the time. Just look at his page if you need proof. He says he's been called a coon. Well, That's not even debatable, because that's exactly what you are. He is a buck dancer. He's tap dancing hard and has been for the last couple of years. So I can't even be upset at that one. And notice he doesn't drop any names either. He just says, oh, that the Democrats, that's what they called me. But he doesn't say exactly who said it. Then he says he's been called an Uncle Tom. Well, see, here's the thing. Uncle Tom was the hero. And Terrence, you are far from an Uncle Tom. You are a Sambo, though. You indeed are definitely that. No doubt in my mind. Keep in mind, this is the same guy that the first time we saw him, he was eating Popeye's chicken and had the grease all around his mouth. I mean, this still at the grown man. Kids don't even act like that. That's how he got put on. That the people that said, I'm standing with you, Terrence, and we got your back. Those are the same people saying, Terrence, you're so funny. I'm like, how did you not catch the insult? They literally called you funny for being a minstrel show. But he enjoyed it so much that he amplified it even more and then grifted his way by becoming this, what we unfortunately know of him to be today. He says, and been called me an inbred N-word by white Biden supporters. Let me tell you something right now. I'm willing to bet it wasn't just white Biden supporters, if that's even true, but let's just hypothetically say that it is, that were calling you those things. It was probably people in the Trump camp that was calling you that too. Some of them may not have said it to your face, but I'm almost certain they said it behind your back. But because you wanted the pat on the head and the extra plate of biscuits with a sprinkle of butter dust, you did whatever it could and whatever it took in order to cement your place over there at that camp. Even if it meant not only throwing your people, black people, under the bus, but also throwing yourself under the bus too. I think that's what's even worse with a lot of these grifters. They would throw themselves, they would throw all their morals, all their self-respect out the window under the bus in order to be engulfed and in their world and in their orbit when they don't even want you there. I just did a video recently talking about how the GOP just gutted the minority outreach program. Granted, it was mainly catered to those who are quote unquote Hispanic, or as I like to call them, south of the Borderian, but it was black people that was mixed up in there too. So how do you feel about that? They literally want to go back to the Lily White movement. Terrence K. Williams, newsflash, you're not Lily White. And then he ends it off with saying, one thing I'm going to do is stand up for myself. Well, looking at this post, it looks to me like you're not trying to stand up too much for yourself. You're looking like you're trying to seek help from others to do the dirty work for you. After you've been doing the dirty work for them for so long, now you want to take a break. Nope, you got to keep going. I hope I'm not reading too much into this, but it almost sounds like to me he's tired of grifting. Sounds like he wants to go on vacation. Sounds like he wants to take a little break. I hate to break it to you, Terrence, but if you go on a break, they will eventually break you. You can't go on vacation. You can, well, you can, but it'll be a permanent one. See, here's the thing. I went on a little vacation back in April for a week. Didn't put no content up for a week. Came back. The audience missed me. I missed them. And it was smooth. And we kept it moving like I never took that break. Him, on the other hand, he has to keep going. That's the other thing about these grifters. They cannot slow down. They literally have to have their foot on the gas at all times. They can never, ever, ever take a break. If there was a red light, they'd have to run through that red light and hope for the best. Almost like a runaway train. I do not feel bad for Terrence K. Williams at all. I do not feel bad for any of them, to be quite honest. They made their bed, now they have to lie in it. They made this decision to go out there and shill and throw black people under the bus and be surrounded around them, folks. That's your new home. Because guess what? Once they kick you out, you can't come back over here. You gonna have to become a nomad. We are done dealing with all this off-codedness. You have to stay over there. You cannot come over here. And if you think for 1 second that you can, you better think again. Because they tried to do it with Candace. And we was like, nah, she can't come over here. Notice she only made like what, 2 appearances on black platforms, and that was like within the same month. What black platform, quote unquote, has she been on since then? The last thing we heard about her was that she was dropping Christianity to become a Catholic, which ironically, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, that's her husband's religion. So now I guess she's done with the Christianity grift too. She got all she could out of that, and now she can't get no more, so now she's going to move on to another grift. She's trying to get as much as she can before November the 5th, and Terrence K. Williams will be no different. And so will the rest of them. I had made a post the other day on my X account, Twitter, whatever, in so many words, basically saying that this grift game was nothing but a temporary wave ride. But there's a tsunami that's about to occur that's going to wash that wave away. And your grift is going to go along with that wave. And hopefully it doesn't return. But I have a feeling that, you know, when the tools are broken, as we like to say, there is no coming back from that. You can't rebuild from that. But that's why they got to keep going. They got to hope something aligns with their grift to keep them going, even if it makes them sound very, very silly and look even more ridiculous. So Terrence K. Williams, I don't know if this is the end or if you are acknowledging that this is coming, your grift is coming to an end, or whatever this is supposed to be. But if it's supposed to be a cry for help, you better know who to cry to. Don't cry to us. But we already know that he wants nothing to do with us, and the feeling is mutual because we want not a damn thing to do with him. He's literally on his own. All right, so I had to add this part into the commentary, and I didn't see this before, and I wish I had, considering what I talked about first, but either way, the point still is driven home. So Terrence K. Williams literally posted this over an hour before the one that you saw. I don't know if y'all peeped the timestamp on the first part, but it was at 10:36 a.m. on May the 1st. He posted this at 9:14 a.m. Now, the first one that we just went over, he was basically talking about how he was being bullied and called this and that by white Biden supporters and whatnot. And I told you this man does nothing but post nothing but a shrine to 45 on his page all the time, whether it's a verbal shrine like this one or a visual one like I showed towards the end of the first part of this video. He says, if you are not voting for Trump at this point, then please excuse my language, but you are a dumbass piece of shit and you clearly don't care about America. These are the type of black people that PC, at least that my crowd, likes and wishes that we all were like. It's no way I could ever act in the same vein as this dude is right here. And you can't tell me that he's being 100% serious about the stuff that he says. This guy is doing nothing but grifting because that's all he has. I said he has to bank and hope to God that 45 gets back in the office, because if not, his grift is done. And truth be told, I think his grift might be done even if 45 does get back in the office. It just won't hit him as hard, or as not as hard, but as quick as it would if he was to lose. That's all he posts on his page every single day, and he posts so many times it's like a marathon. It's almost like he has nothing to do. On average, for myself, I probably post maybe no more than 3 times a day, and usually that's me sharing the link to a new video or a live that I have coming up, and I might post another tweet, and that's about it. This dude, I went and typed his name in because I was trying to find a particular post, and literally, if you look on Google and you type a person's name in and you type in X or X account or Twitter, at the top it has a scroll with all the recent tweets and posts that they've made, and you can click the button, the arrow, to go to the right or to the left, whatever it is, to see what other posts they made recently. All of them were posted the same exact day. If I had to guess, on May the 1st, this dude probably posted about 20 damn times, and all of it was a bunch of bullshit. Nothing of substance, except for, not even that, but stuff like this. That's all he posts. But he wants to get upset and say, oh, I'm being bullied, I'm being called this, I'm being called that. And I told y'all this man is really reckless with his mouth, especially when it comes to Trump. Look at what he posted right here. This is exactly what I'm talking about. That's why I don't take him seriously. People who watch me and listen to me don't take him seriously, and we shouldn't. And why should we? Because this guy's a clown. He probably knows that, but he doesn't care because he feels like my pockets are being lined. So it is what it is. But again, this post says more than enough for me, saying, please get Trump back in, because if not, I'm going to be destitute. That's what it reads. That's how I interpret it. I don't know how you interpret it, but that's how I read it. Because the fact that he says you are a dumbass piece of shit if you don't vote for this person. And these are the same people who support him are the same ones saying that they need to reach out to more black people. Imagine us aligning ourselves not only with the people who support him, but aligning ourselves with him, period. That's not happening. At least not with me. But I'm a registered independent, so it wouldn't happen anyway.